Peace and love, peace and love. It's been a while since I've been live, but you know what? Now's the time. I have been really it's been a minute. I've been really internal and just really connecting and really gaining clarity to really be of optimal service. And now I'm here showing up, and a lot of different things going on. If you don't know me, my name is Shanika Malcolm. You might know me from Naked and Afraid, the first Afro-Indigenous woman to complete the 21-day survival challenge in Mexico. And I've been living originally from Jamaica, but I grew up in the United States, and now I'm living in Colombia. I left the United States 5 years ago to do the Naked and Afraid challenge, basically leaving everything I've known behind. And since then, 5 years ago, I started a whole new life in Mexico with my 3 daughters as a single mother, and really living by my intuition and just following my path. So since I was a teenager, I was called to a spiritual path because something felt off about society and this, hamster wheel of capitalism that we're on, of going to, like you're born, you go to school, you get indoctrinated, you're expected to get a job and to do these things. And, for me, I just felt something off. And I started my spiritual journey, when I was about 18. I had my first daughter when I was 17 years old. And 3 years later, she passed away through a drowning accident. And that incident really put me on my spiritual path. I had just amazing experiences. I mean, it was a very challenging time, but it made the path that more narrow, and I could not deny the path that I needed to be on. And over the years, it was revealed to me that incident of my daughter dying was like a cosmic button for me to wake up. And that prior to us coming into this life, and there's the pre-birth plan where I agreed to be her mother, she agreed to be my daughter, and we had this journey together, and we had this contract that this is what would happen, and it would trigger me to wake up and really begin my spiritual path in a real and lived way. So since then, it's been 20 years, and I've been on this path of living differently, throwing out the rules and the laws of society and really following my intuition, my path, my soul, my higher self to really come into my purpose and my purpose for being here. And for me, that purpose has been really to awaken and connect deeply to spirit and to live from that level of soul alignment, and to share the knowledge and wisdom and the love that I embody with other people. And it's through sharing my journey and my process, and then being of service in, the services and the things that I offer, the teachings, the experiences, to help transmit these codes of awakening, of love, of wisdom that I carry within me. So over the years, I've been inspired to share on social media, and I'm here just continuing to show up and share. This year has been very potent and important on so many levels, cosmically, personally, in my own life. And I'm really being called to continue the journey and to be of greater service, and to keep showing up and offering, my love, my wisdom, my level of embodiment, all of it. So I do that in many different ways. And one of them is primarily through my voice. So through one of the modalities that I learned, the soul realignment, I learned that, basically all of us, we all come from source, from God, right? But in this system, it teaches us that we have a particular flavor of energy, right? That we're made to receive from source, from God. So when we really tap into and embrace that energy and express it through our live reality, that's when we're on our path of service and purpose. And that's how we'll manifest abundance and in our path of purpose in this world. So for me, my flavor of energy is divine communication. So this was like 2014. It all started to click for me when I learned that I was a channel. So if you don't know what a channel is, when you turn on the TV and you go to a specific channel, there's a specific, frequency that comes through. So for me, being on the spiritual path for many years, I realized that I was a channel, and through purifying my channel from the trauma, from the limiting beliefs, from all the personality and earth-based, stuff, I was able to open up to more light, to more consciousness, and to really be able to channel my higher self, the guides that I work with. And that is primarily how I'm able to bring these messages, how I just, this is what I do. So I'm grateful to be doing that. And I find that the more that I was able to do this and really come into my voice, find my voice, because I wasn't always this expressive. I was not always this expressive. Actually, I used to be shy, and I used to kind of be a people pleaser. I would always worry about other people's feelings and how they would receive what I was going to say. So for many years, I would hold my voice back and not fully express how I felt, the truths that I had to say, because I didn't want to hurt other people. But in the long run, I ended up hurting myself because some people don't have that level of compassion to do the same for other people. So while I was worried about other people's feelings and trying to be nice, others were taking advantage and not having any of that level of compassion. So over the years, I'm 39 now, so it took a lot of years to work through these blocks that I had so that I could stand in my truth and fully express myself. And that's what I do. That's what I'm here to do. And it's been a journey of really remembering the love and the wisdom that I have within me, and the love and wisdom that comes through me from my soul and my higher self. And, I'm grateful to be a channel, and I'm grateful to be an example of a specific level of alignment and frequency, and what happens when you get on the spiritual path. You open up your intuition, you open up to your gifts, and you want to be of service on this planet. We are all divine beings, but so many of us are blinded by the glamour, by material 3D life. We forget why we are here. We forget that we're spiritual beings, and the indoctrination that happens when we're born. We come into a family system that has specific beliefs, specific limitations. Maybe your family's in a specific religion, and you inherit those beliefs. You inherit the limitations of your parents. You inherit the limitations and the beliefs of society, the country that you're born into. So this process of spiritually awakening is being able to question reality as we know it, and then also have the courage to walk your path and start to orient inwardly. So we're taught to orient ourselves outwardly in the external world. So we look around and we're like, okay, We take our cues from the external world and go by that instead of turning inward, connecting to who we truly are on a soul level, and living by our deepest truths. So many people live like this their whole lives. They try to people please. They live by the laws of society because, we're told that there's a specific way to be successful. We're taught what success looks like. And it's a different level. It's a different way of living to be able to orient to your inner world and connecting with your soul and living from that truth. And I'm a beautiful example of that. And the path isn't always easy. It's not. But this is the path that we have to walk. And you have a decision to make. Do you want to start the journey sooner than putting it off? And, years of suffering, years of turmoil, years of procrastination? Or do you want to have the courage to start and get on the spiritual path and do the work that is necessary to heal, to let go of the limitations, the trauma, the societal programming and conditioning? And do you want to embody the full power of your soul and the energy that you have access to live your divinity and manifest it in this physical world? So, you know what I chose? I chose to walk my path. I chose to live authentically. I chose to take the road less traveled. And here I am. I'm living my life. I'm in Colombia. God has always made a way for me. And it's just, I have a deep level of trust in my path, in God, in my ancestors, in spirit. And it's a level of trust that a lot of people don't get to because they let fear stop them. So I'm grateful to be on this journey, to have this platform and be able to share with you. And as a spiritual guide, as a spiritual teacher, I am teaching what I have lived and from my experience and from the wisdom that is coming through me from myself, my higher self on different dimensions. So sometimes, I'm talking to someone and this information comes through that they need to hear because there's so many different mechanisms in the spiritual world. You have a higher self, which is you, but more expanded. You know what I mean? So we're here in the third dimension. The mental mind dimension is on the fourth dimension. And then you go up and up and up. So your higher self is the dimensional aspect of you that you have the highest connection or access to. So when you come into this life, right, it's a process of forgetting. You're an expansive spirit. You're all-knowing, kind of like God. And then you come in and take birth and you come into limitation and you forget. But this life is this journey of remembering who you are and going on this lifelong journey of growing, of embodying more love and finding your way, right? So one of my favorite sayings is that you have to be lost. Something has to be lost so it can be found. So this life, we sometimes walk around and we feel very lost. We feel very isolated. We feel like we don't have the tools. It's like walking around blindly when you're not consciously on a spiritual path and connecting to your intuition and your soul to guide you. Man, I remember before I came onto this spiritual path and just feeling lost, feeling isolated, feeling like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and feeling depressed. So we're all spiritual beings, and we're in this. When you take birth, you're like an extension of your soul, which is on higher dimensions. So this personality that takes birth, some of us totally identify with the ego and the personality, and we forget that we are a spirit, that we have a soul, and that we have access to the spiritual realms, and we have guides, we have a spiritual team to help us progress in this life. But because of the teachings and the indoctrination, we're so oriented to this physical body. So many people think that they're their physical body, so they do everything to beautify it. They do everything to stay on the surface, right? You want to stay young, you want to stay youthful. People put so much energy into the physicality and they forget to feed their souls. So let's see. So what I want to share is that, like I said, I am being called to share and teach more. And I started this community to be able to do that and to share this wisdom with everyone. So this community that I started, it is on the school network, and I've been guided. I think my connection is a little weak, so let me wait for it to load up. Okay, there it is. So I started this community, and this is not about money. I was guided to make it only $7 so that this information, this community, and this spiritual knowledge is accessible to everyone. So everyone, I believe everyone, most people in the world can afford $7 to put to their growth and their development. So I'm going to share the link to the community, and you can join. You can join the community, and it's beautiful because, it's a community kind of like social media. So I'll post there, I'll give daily teachings, then we'll have live sessions. So I think around July the 19th, I'm going to start these ascension classes. That's what I call it, ascension classes. So we're going to have these classes starting on the 19th. So this is going to be every Sunday moving forward. And this is going to take you through the process of ascension, of purifying your vessel, purifying your mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, and then also connecting in the community, being able to meditate and learn these skills together so that you have a practical path for your spiritual growth and awakening. So that's what I wanted. I'm a Capricorn, so I love things that are practical. So I want to share this knowledge and information that I have been learning and embodying and remembering, because I'm not learning, I'm remembering the wisdom that is within me, and I'm being called to share it. So within this community, wherever you're on your spiritual journey, you'll be able to plug in and access this information, and not even just information. I am transmitting a certain level of frequency, and I'm not sure what this is about, but I'm so lost. I was sent here. Well, welcome, sunshine. Basically, I was just talking about my spiritual path and my journey and my purpose, to basically embody the wisdom of my soul and to share it with other people. So my path and my purpose is to bring people home to their souls. So what's interesting is that, when you take birth, you're a Capricorn as well, and you're going through it. Yeah. So listen, I can't imagine living life and not being on a spiritual path and having access to the tools and things that I use about. So Keith, mutants, what mutants are you referring to? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? It's not very clear. I can't answer a question if the question isn't very clear for me. So I can't imagine living this life and not having the tools and the practices. Like life is challenging. Life is very challenging, especially if you're not on a spiritual path and you don't have the tools and the knowledge to empower yourself. I akin life to being on the ocean. And you know, when you're on the ocean, the waves can be rough, right? So the waves can be very rough. And if you don't have an anchor, like, your boat can be taken out, right? So you are the boat. Life is the ocean. And the anchor is your soul. The spiritual practices that you have to keep you on that path. It's so important. You need practices on a daily basis to help regulate the nervous system, to quiet the ego, to quiet the egoic mind, because the mind can have you in a loop. And many of us do not have these practices. We're not born into a spiritual lineage. Many of us are born into the Western world and we are lost. We're lost in materialism. We're lost in hedonism. We're lost in so many isms. And we forget that we're a soul, and then we have access, and we have a whole spiritual team to help us remember and make this journey through life in a good way. So for me, this is what has transformed my life. Learning meditation, learning different universal laws and spiritual practices, learning how to quiet my ego, because you have an ego, but you're not the ego. That ego that is based in fear and separation, that will keep you on this path of illusion. But once you start to get on that spiritual path and you start to quiet that ego and that mind, you can start to hear the voice of spirit, your intuition, and you start to get on this path and have more direction. You start to find your purpose, and you feel more guided in this life. So this is what I'm passionate about. You can join the community and get started. Like I said, on the 19th, I'm going to start these classes, and they're going to be powerful, because we're going to do meditations. We're going to do different prayers, different invocations and clearings to be able to clear your field. So if you can imagine, right, like this glass. If you can imagine that this water wasn't so clear, right? And then you start to filter the water, it becomes more and more clear. So in essence, this is what spiritual practice is doing. It is helping to clear all the programming, all the limitations, all the things that are blocking the flow of universal energy, so that you can have access to more of who you are. So if you feel called to, join the community. It's only $7 a month. And I did this specifically, $7 a month, because I'm here to help liberate the masses. And I don't want money to be a thing to stop people from accessing the community. So $7 is still, it's money. So there is that reciprocal exchange. So you're giving something and you're getting so much more. I've seen other communities that charge, $33, $100, even more. So for the level of information and transformation that you're going to get through you showing up and paying attention and starting to create the daily habits that are going to help you to embody your higher self, I mean, you're not going to get this anywhere else. One system that I also use is the cards of destiny. So I learned this system about 15 years ago, and I learned my card and kind of so you have a birth card, and it's based on the day that you were born. You have a planetary ruling card, and this system is a very ancient system. It is said that it comes from Atlantis and that it was taught in the mystery schools. It was used in Egypt. And then this system was hidden for a long time until this guy wrote this book in like the 1800s. And then Robert Lee Camp wrote these books to really bring this system to the world. So what I want to do is have a little fun today. If you want a mini reading, I realize my signal isn't the best. If you want a mini reading, all you have to do is drop your date of birth in the chat, and I'll give you a mini reading. And if you want to know more, you can book a session to get a cosmic realignment reading. So I use this system in my life on an every daily basis. Why? Because it's so accurate and powerful. When I learned that my card was the Seven of Hearts, everything started to make sense. It gave me so much more clarification about who I am on a soul level. Well, who I am, you can say more in this personality and in this role in this life. It made me understand who I am and what I'm here to do. So the Seven of Hearts is a spiritual love card. So I'm here to let go of all attachments and to embody unconditional love and to teach from my soul. So if you want a reading, you can tell me what your birthday is, and I will give you a little taste. So who is brave enough? Put your birthday in the chat, and then I'll look at your card. And anyone? Anyone? Let's see. So I've kind of taken a little pause from social media because this year it's been a whirlwind, but it has been exactly what it needed to be because I've been going through this process of really going in deeper. All right, so God frequency 369. I love that. Yes. So from that name and that number, I see the spades. All right, so let me. So the Four of Spades. Well, spades is, you can say, the final and the highest suite of the card system. All right, so let's look at your cosmic algorithm, God frequency. So your birth card is the Four of Spades, and your planetary ruling card is the Eight of Spades, right? So the first thing that jumps out of me is that both of your cards are of the Spades suite. So in the Cards of Destiny system, spades are the suite of work, health, discipline, mastery, karma, and spiritual growth. So you're someone whose life isn't really about taking the easy path. It's about becoming incredibly strong through experience. So your Four of Spades is your birth card, and it's called the foundation card. So 4 is all about foundation. So at your core, you're someone who craves stability. You like knowing where you stand, and you're at the best when you build solid routines, healthy habits, and a life that's kind of like dependable. So like being in the routines and having that solid foundation. So people often see you as like being really reliable. So, but here's the lesson here. The life may not always let you stay comfortable. So when things shift, it's often an invitation to build an even stronger foundation instead of relying on what you've been doing or what's familiar. So when things shift, you're asked to Okay, sunshine. So when things shift, when your foundation shifts, it's for you to set a new foundation that's more supportive in where you are now in your life, right? So your planetary ruling card is the Eight of Spades. And the eight is the number of power. And since it's in the Suite of Spades, it's the power that comes from discipline, resiliency, and mastery. So this tells me that your soul is learning how to step into real authority. Like not by controlling others, but mastering yourself. So when I put these two cards together, I don't see someone who's just meant to work hard. I see someone who's meant to become an example of what's possible through consistency and integrity. So your life may have asked you to carry responsibilities earlier than other people. You may have experiences that forced you to mature quickly. But those experiences are also building the qualities that other people will eventually look up to. So the question I want to leave you with, God frequency, is where is life asking you to stop simply surviving and to actually start owning your power? And what daily practices, what routine, what level of discipline, what things are you doing on a daily basis to set that foundation so that you can step into a level of mastery? So this is for God frequency 369, who was born on 4/17/2002. So because, when you put these cards together, it's pointing towards something. So this is not just your foundation. In this system, you have also your yearly spread. So you can actually see the energies that are present for the whole year and what cycles that you'll be moving through. So the year is divided into 7 52-day periods, right? And the first 52-day periods start right after your birthday or right on your birthday. And that's your Mercury period, right? So I hope that provided a little bit of insight for you, right? So, the full reading, the full cosmic alignment reading, we look at, your overall life purpose and theme and the lessons that you're here to learn. We look at the year that you're in, because every year the energies change and the focus and the lessons change. And then we look at specifically what 52-day period that you're in, and it provides a lot of clarity. So this system, right? So this system, if you see my calendar here, I call it the cosmic algorithm because every day there is a different energy or frequency that you have access to. And then every 52-day periods, the card change. So right now I'm in my Jupiter period from May 30th to July 21st. And the card that is prominent for me is the Seven of Clubs. This is the card of spiritual knowledge. So in this period, I've been going in even more deeply and tapping in and bringing through the spiritual knowledge and really practicing it on a deeper level. And then my secondary card right now in this period is the Ten of Hearts. And the Ten of Hearts deals with love, but also gathering groups of people and being able to reach more people to share this wisdom that I embody. So this is exactly what I'm doing and just sharing and to build this community. Okay. I need so much help because today is a hard day for me. All right, so Sunshine, you were born on January 16th. January 6th. Oh, you're a Jack of Diamonds. I just did a reading for someone that was born on July 4th because July 4th is also the Jack of Diamonds card. So let's see. Jack of Diamonds. And then your secondary planetary ruling card is, wait a minute, December. January is Six of Clubs. And like I said, I can go more deeper when I look at your full spread. So right now, Jack of Diamonds. So Jack of Diamonds. So Jacks are basically, entrepreneurial. Diamonds deals with what you value. So in the tarot, diamonds is the pentacles. So this is dealing with what you value and things like that. So your birth card being the Jack of Diamonds and your planetary ruling card is the Six of Clubs. So the first thing I notice is that you have a beautiful balance between creativity and wisdom. Actually, I like my other book. Okay, so the Jack of Diamonds is one of the most creative money cards in the deck. Diamonds represents money, business, values, and really entrepreneurship and what we build in the material world. The Jack, brings youthful energy, innovation, and the ability to think outside of the box. So you're probably someone who doesn't like doing things the conventional way. You have ideas, visions, and talents for seeing opportunities that other people can miss. But if you're a Jack of Diamonds, like diamonds, Jack of Diamonds is all about, entrepreneurship and being the salesperson and being able to have the gift of gab. So you're someone that will really be best suited if you're in your own business. Okay. You're someone that is really suited to be in your own business. So many people, with this Jack of Diamonds energy is entrepreneurial. They're creatives, marketers, and naturally good at turning ideas into value. And also very artistic. So like the person that I did his reading yesterday, same thing, Jack of Diamonds, very creative, very artistic, and you have to make sure that you're actually expressing and embodying that, or else you will have some difficulty. So the Jack of Diamonds, the lesson here is that sometimes you have a lot of ideas, but you don't always finish them. It can, exciting times ahead. Yes, Susan. It can feel like you're chasing the next exciting opportunity before developing the current one. My signal isn't too good because my internet box went down and I'm on my backup system, which isn't as strong. So tomorrow my internet will be, I'm going to have this guy come and fix it. So your planetary ruling card is the Six of Clubs. And this is where your soul is trying to bring balance. So the Six of Clubs is the card of mental harmony, responsibility, and wisdom. So the club suite is all about the mind. It's ruled, you can say it's ruled by Gemini. So this is all about the mind. It asks you to trust your mind and to make thorough decisions and to recognize that your words and beliefs create your reality. Six is all about creativity as well. So being mentally creative and be able to focus your mind. So sunshine, whatever you're going through right now, I don't want to say you need to ignore it, but you need to orient to the inner world. So what happens a lot of time is that when we're going through a challenging time, we have the tendency to focus on all the things that are going wrong. And we feed our energy into what is going wrong and it's not what we want. But we amplify it by simply giving so much attention to it. So I recommend that you look at whatever your situation that you're in right now and think about what new desires are arising for you and to focus your energy on what you want to create right now. Not what's going wrong, but what you want to create right now. And this is a practice I do all the time, right? Because your life experience, right? Whatever you're experiencing right now is the result of whatever you've been giving energy to, whether subconsciously or consciously. So a lot of times all the time we are creating our reality through our thoughts and what we focus on, but we don't always realize that we're doing it. So if you're not using that Six of Clubs energy to focus your mind, you can be creating what you do not want. So sunshine, it is very important for you to focus on what you want right now, right? And then use that Jack of Diamonds energy to do something creative with your energy and what you want to do. Whether if it's a business, whatever idea that is coming through. And a lot of times we make goals like, I want to make, $5,000 this month, right? When you make a new goal, right? There's a reason why you don't have that goal already. So whatever blockages that you need to work through to be able to manifest what you're trying to manifest, it's going to come up. It's going to come up in your emotional body as feelings. It's going to come up in your mental body as limitations, false beliefs that you then have to work through, move through that shadow and that energy so that you can now manifest and create what you want. But a lot of times, and I call it a speed bump, and I realized this through my own experience and being a very powerful manifester. So when I make a new desire to manifest something, right away, I'm faced with myself. I'm faced with my shadow. I'm faced with the reason why I haven't been able to create it yet. And a lot of us are afraid to do that work. It's going to take work. We're in the physical world. Everything takes work. But it doesn't mean that things have to be so heavy and impossible. And this is why having a spiritual practice is important. Because a lot of times, all the time, when I have things I want to create and things that I want to do, I go to spirit first. I talk to my guides. I pray. I'm like, listen, universe, I want to do this. I put my intention out there and I become still. Because sure enough, the guidance is going to come through of what I need to do. And a lot of us, we set our intentions and our desires, right? But we don't sit still and we don't listen. We keep asking and asking and asking, and we're not still and receptive to hear the wisdom and the guidance that's coming through. And beyond that, when the wisdom and guidance comes through, we don't take action. We're in the physical world. You have to take action. That's the one thing that changed my life. Like I'm naturally very much living in the spiritual realm. Like it's easy for me to tap in and connect with so many ideas and inspiration that's always coming through me. And at one point I would have so much ideas and information and it felt good. But what happened was none of that mattered until I took aligned action in the physical reality. Aligned action. So sunshine, if you want to go deeper, if you want a full reading to understand where you are right now and what you're moving through, you can book a reading. So these readings, I prepare them and then I send you the PDF with your reading. So let me show y'all something else. So in this system, right? This is how it's crazy. Every year of your life is in the cards, all the way up to 99. So once you learn this system, you can look and see that, in my Mercury period, there's the 5 of diamonds. So you can kind of read the energies when you become familiar with the cards. You can see what is going on. So I call this system the cosmic algorithm because it is so divine and precise. So let me turn this back around. So there was someone else Keith, are you still here? Keith, let me know if you're still here and I'll look at yours. So, let me see. Sunshine, if you're still here, your birth card is saying dream big. Go after your goals, your ideas. Your planetary ruling card is saying that you need to create the structure that allow those dreams to succeed. Also, I wouldn't even be surprised if people often come for you for advice. Even if you don't realize it, you have a way of helping people see things from a different perspective. So the question I want to leave you with, Sunshine, is that what would happen if you fully commit to one of the biggest ideas instead of wondering if there's a better one waiting around the corner? So because these cards together suggest that your greatest success comes when your creativity is matched by consistency and clear and positive thinking, right? You really have to master the power of your mind, because all of these cards, like the energy is like neutral, and then there's a negative aspect and then there's a positive aspect. What happens is when we come into this life, we're very much expressing a lot of times the negative aspects of our card to come back into balance and come into mastery of that energy. So this is your foundation. So your full destiny card reading, your full cosmic alignment reading goes much deeper. So we can look at your yearly spread and see what energies are present this year and see what chapter you're in right now. So also in the community that I launched, I also teach the basics of this system, because I feel like know thyself. When you're on this journey, you have to first start with knowing who you are, knowing what your gifts are, what your challenges are, what your weaknesses are, and what your purpose and your path is. This system here provides a clear roadmap. So in the community, I have a foundational course where you can learn how to look up your cards. You can learn what the 7 52-day periods of the year represent, what period you're in, and how to work with these energies. So Sunshine, you're very welcome. Let me see. Okay, Keith is still here. Let me move back up and see when your birthday is. 7:30. Okay, so July 30th, you have a birthday coming up, and that means that you're going to start your new year and you're going to be in your Mercury period. Keith, how old are you going to turn? 68. Let me see. 7:30. July 3rd. Ooh, okay. Wow, I love this. All right, so Keith, you're a Jack of Hearts is your birth card, and also your planetary ruling card is Jack of Hearts. That's interesting. Okay. I love this. So Jack, once again. So you know in the suites, it goes from 1 to 10, and then it goes to Jack, Queen, and then King. So one of your personality cards is the King of Hearts. So this is really interesting. Like I said, I'm excited because both of your cards is the Jack of Hearts. So this energy of Jack is very strong for this life. All right. So what I see, when I see the same card in both positions, it tells me that this energy is really amplified throughout your life. So it's not just a part of who you are. It's the core lesson that your soul keeps returning to throughout this life. The Jack of Hearts is often called the creative heart, creative love. So the Heart Suite, excuse me 1 minute. I have some frankincense burning, so I just turned it over on the charcoal. So hearts represents love, relationships, emotions, family, and the inner world. So the Jack brings the very youthful energy, imagination, charisma, and emotional creativity. So you probably have a very warm presence. So people are naturally drawn to you because you can probably make them feel seen, understood, or uplifted. So there's a very playful side to you that can bring lightness to serious situations. So the Jacks are very playful, very youthful energy, right? And this is dealing with love. So many people with this card are incredibly creative, not just artistic, but in the way that they love, connect, and inspire others. But here's the lesson. The Jack is full of potential, but it needs direction. So being a Jack, right? A personality card for a lot of men is the Jack. So it has this youthful energy. But there is things that you need to embody so that that Jack can become a king, right? So sometimes this energy can fall into rescuing others, romanticizing people, or giving your heart away before someone has actually earned it. So you may also find that yourself like holding on to an ideal of how relationships should be instead of seeing what is actually in front of you. So because your planetary ruling card is also the Jack of Hearts, your soul keeps inviting you back to this one question. Can I love from wholeness instead of seeking completion through someone else? 1 second. So when you learn that lesson, this card becomes incredibly powerful and magnetic. People don't just enjoy being around you. They feel emotionally nourished by your presence. So your greatest gift isn't simply loving others. It's helping people remember what love feels like. And that is if you actually tap into this energy of the Jack of Hearts. So this is why I love this system, because it really shows the archetypes and you can really tap into the energy. Yeah, and the Jack of Hearts, the card is known as the sacrifice through love. So the Jack of Hearts is strong about their version of love. And they are surrounded by the Christ spirit of sacrifice through love. Oh, this is also my mother's card. So if you're born July 30th, this is your card. Like my mother is born December 20th, and this is her card as well. So yeah, man. So that really gives me a picture of who you are. You're very loving and people can count on you to show up for them. Yeah, people can count on you, but you got to make sure that you're not sacrificing yourself to pour into others. Yeah, so this is really like the spirit of Christ, but you want to make sure that you're not sacrificing too much of yourself. And because the Jack of Hearts is a spiritual card, it does not mean that you don't exhibit any of the Jack characteristics. You can be caught up in being youthful, playful, like a playboy, the playboy aspect of this card. So you can be tempted into affairs and romantic encounters, for the Jack is the most romantic card in the deck. So Keith, you're probably a little Mac Daddy over there. Let me find out. Woo! But love is your power and your birthright. Yeah, so you're really here to embody this love energy. But you're not here to become a martyr and sacrifice yourself. So I'm hoping that was provided some context for you. So I also want to say this to everyone else watching. So when someone's birth card and their planetary ruling card are the same card, that doesn't mean life will be easier. It means the qualities and lessons of that card are especially central to your journey in this life. So rather than balancing two different cards or two different energies or two different archetypes, you're invited to go very deep into this archetype of the Jack of Hearts. So in this case, it's learning to express love with creativity, authenticity, and emotional maturity without sacrificing too much of yourself, right? So if you want the full reading, if you want to look at your other cards, or actually, and since your birthday is July 30th, you're going to be starting a whole new year. And this is actually the best time I recommend for people to get a full reading. Let's see. Other people with this birthday. Oh, Serena Williams has this card as well. Who else? Who else I know has this card? Rodney Dangerfield, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Pretty interestingly, those are the celebrity birthdays from that card. So if you're just coming on, Sunshine said people does always comes to her. That's amazing. So I invite you to join the community because I'm a 7 of Hearts. And I am here to really embody unconditional love, but to teach from my soul. So I invite you to join the community. It is only $7 a month, right? And I price it this way because, like I said, I'm here to give from my heart. So for me, and Spirit has shown me, I can't worry about money, or I can't make money the thing I focus on. And what is interesting is the more that I give from my soul and from my heart, I'm naturally taken care of through God. And it's a very important reminder because so often we are taught to chase money and to chase success. But for me, I've always chased alignment, spiritual alignment, and really coming back again and again to these spiritual practices, these universal truths to really anchor me in the truth of who I am on a soul level and to stay in deep alignment. And I'm here to help people understand deeper truths that they're not just their physical body. You are a divine being. Coming into this life, you forget so that you can remember and wake up, right? Low battery. So I want to invite y'all to the community. Click the link click the link. If you're watching this feed, you can click the link there and join. I'll be sharing more and more because my purpose is, this came to me in 2021. So I share that I'm a channel, meaning that I bring through wisdom from my guides, from my spirit team, from my higher self, and from source. And through years of practice, development, refinement, purification, I have opened my central channel. So when you look at the body, we're not just a physical body, right? We have an energetic body. And in yoga, they're called koshas. So you have a Annamaya kosha, you have a Pranamaya kosha, the prana body, you have a Anandamaya kosha. You have all of these bodies, and it's kind of like the Russian doll. You know, the Russian doll where you have this doll and it opens up and it's like layers and layers and layers. So the physical body is that first layer, but then you have all of these different layers. And because we don't really come into these lineages and families that can teach us about these things, bring us and initiate us into spiritual knowledge, we go through life feeling that we're only this physical body, and you only learn to nourish and feed this physical body. You have a mental body. You have an emotional body. You have an astral body, right? So the more that you're able to learn and expand your awareness and consciousness, you can tap into the greater storehouse of who you are and what you have access to. So I can't imagine living life and not having a practice, not having this roadmap to guide me. And now over 20 years of being on this spiritual path of growth and development and self-mastery, I live by my intuition and I live by spirit. So while the world is going crazy with all of these things, everything that's happening, I feel a sense of deep grounded, deep purpose and deep connection to know that I'm walking my path and I'm right where I need to be. And that is here, right here with you, to deliver this message and to help you come on the spiritual path. Because listen, everybody it has to come on the spiritual path. Whether if it's this life or 10 lifetimes from now, right? You're here to grow and evolve and to remember who you are and to manifest that divinity and express and live spiritually in this life. You're here to express that. But many people never come on this spiritual path until maybe later in their life when they have a midlife crisis and they're like, oh my God, what the fuck have I been doing with my life? I've been listening to all these people pleasing. And you look back at your life like, wow, this doesn't make me happy. This is not who I really am. And a lot of people do that in their 50s. They go through this midlife crisis because the pressure is on and they can no longer ignore what they feel within themselves. And they start on this journey. But you don't have to wait till then. You don't have to wait till shit hits the fan. You don't have to wait till you're faced with a debilitating illness to make the changes that you need to make and get on the spiritual path. You can do it right here and now. And like I told y'all, I live by my intuition. I live by spirit. It has guided me to where I am now, where I don't work a 9-to-5. I tell people I work for God, I work for the people, and I work for the planet. And my needs are provided for by embodying my purpose and my path and entrusting so deeply. And I'm not saying I don't have sometimes fears and doubts come up. They come up sometimes. But it is just feedback. And I know how to work with my emotions and my mind and all these different aspects of myself to come back to alignment. Right? So I don't go too far off the path because my soul is like, nope. Come back to alignment. And I have the tools and the practices to regulate my nervous system. Because so many of us don't have the tools. We are literally walking around in life blind and disconnected from our soul. And I'm like, no wonder there's so much fuck shit happening in the world. Because people are disconnected from their soul. And when you're disconnected from your soul, you are steeped in your ego. You're steeped in fear and separation. And you're steeped in survival. So I'm here to help people come back on the spiritual path and embody the love that they are. So if any of that resonate with you, join the community. Like I said, on the 19th, this is 2 Sundays from now, I'm going to start these ascension classes. And this is going to really help you to have the tools and the techniques and the skills that you need to progress on the spiritual path. And if this resonates with you and you want to check out the cosmic algorithm reading, right now I'm doing these readings. You can look at your birth card, your planetary ruling card. We can look at your life spread, kind of like what you're here to do in your life, the major themes and lessons. and then what is supporting you through your life. And then we also look at the current year that you're in, the current cycle that you're in, to understand what energy you're moving through. So if that resonates, click that link, and then also join the community. All right, I'm going to get off of here because I started prepping dinner and I got to go make dinner. So I'm going to be going live on a daily basis promoting the community, because right now this month I have the goal of getting 100 members. 100 members. Because we're in a pivotal time on this planet. We are moving into a golden age, right? A golden age of spiritual enlightenment and peace and love and joy. But we're in a transition. So we're still pretty much in this old world of domination and control and these systems. And these systems are trying to hold on for dear life. This is why so many things are happening right now, right? So many things are happening to distract you from your path and your purpose and coming to God. So many things are distracting you to focus your energy and to steal your energy, right? So that you're not focusing on what you're here to do in this life. And this is what the mass media is doing. Even social media is helpful because it can connect us. But you have so many people, you have so many egos that are on here that are operating from fear, from greed, people that just want to sell you stuff so that they can make money and fill their account. But they are not actually operating from their soul and being of service. They're in service, but in service to themselves. So I realize that my path, my purpose for being here is to truly be of service, to embody who I am at the highest spiritual level, and to anchor that energy right here. So we're definitely in a time of ascension, right? We're lifting the energies and the vibration of the planet, but we're also descending. We're anchoring our higher selves, high vibrational frequencies of love into the planet. And this is how the transformation is going to take place. It's not going to happen externally. It's happening internally for us to wake up. Because as within, so without. The fuck shit we see in the world happening, in the war and all the stuff that is happening is representative of the misalignment and the disconnection that is in us. And we're being called to do this deeper work, to move through these things and to heal and to wake up. Mm-hmm.
Dog, Mila.
What? All right, don't worry, babe. Oh, God. Okay. My daughter just came home with my dog, and my dog is in heat, and a dog jumped on her? Really? Oh, my God. Fuck. All right, we'll deal with that. So my phone is on 5%. So like I said, I'm going to be on here on a daily basis because my purpose is planetary love, healing, and liberation. And it is through that shift of consciousness that is happening on the planet. And we get to decide if it happens sooner or later, right? So peace and love, y'all. Thank you for joining the live. Click the link in my bio, click the link here and join the community. And if you're interested in going deeper and learning your birth card, your planetary ruling card, and to know more about who you are on a deeper level, you can book a reading. And I'll see y'all soon.